Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taddy. I'm an astrologer and I make videos on astrology, self-growth, self-care, self-love. So if that interests you, please continue watching, please subscribe. And this is going to be a very casual sit-down video, so go grab some tea, go grab some coffee, let's chat. I'm just drinking water because I've already had coffee and a tea, so I think I'm good with caffeine right now. I just wanted to talk about hustle culture as well as the creator economy and where I see the future of astrology going. So this is going to be a deep dive conversation on these topics. And I want to preface this by saying that I am using my own personal experience and this is my own opinion as an astrologer, as someone who has a master's in digital media, and what I learned from that master's program. Hustle culture in society is changing so much. And there's a few reasons for this. If you can see in terms of the planets shifting, Pluto will be entering Aquarius next year, and this is going to change things up so much, so dramatically, because right now Pluto is in Capricorn. And this is interesting to note because Pluto in Capricorn is transforming and destroying and evolving what we feel like the corporate systems and structures are at play, especially in a Capricornian way, which is traditional, which is very much about capitalist society. And this is why when Pluto enters Aquarius next year, we're going to really see a change, right? And it's going to go retrograde back into Capricorn again, but when it goes into Aquarius, we are going to enter an age where we're going to value community even more so. We're going to value just new technology, the creators of that new technology and what is behind that, which I do feel like will benefit the creator economy, and also just understanding how technology really connects us together, how we can really yearn for community so much more. I want to deep dive into this because I feel like, for me, I want to go back to hustle culture because with Pluto in Capricorn, it's been us learning and first valuing hustle culture, which we've seen a few years ago, and then I've been there. I've been burnt out by hustle culture. My background is in graphic design. I still do branding work. I'm still a brand strategist, and when I first started my career, I was constantly taking on more and more projects. I was constantly just looking for new work because I was in a survival mentality, right? And Pluto, interesting enough, is all about survival. So with Pluto in Capricorn, we were in hustle culture just looking to survive, right? And now when Pluto goes into Aquarius, we're going to learn more so how community is needed for survival, how much we need our community to thrive in terms of being seen and being heard, being validated, being in a safe space. So going back to my story, I feel like when I first started my freelance design career, it was something that I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go into freelancing, but I was pushed into it. I kept getting into very toxic work environments and I had to quit them, and I just kind of fell into freelancing. And this made sense in my birth chart. I had Chiron in Leo in the 10th house, and I had a lot of power dynamic battles. I had a lot of power struggles, and I realized I just needed to work for myself. And this isn't an easy task, but it was something that I needed to do. And I slowly began to get work as a freelancer. And in the beginning, it was very slow, but the first year of my business, I remember just everyone started to recommend me and I started to get more and more projects, and I just took on so much and I got so burnt out. Like, it was really helpful for my finances, but I felt so unhappy and so burnt out that I had to take a break, and this was so difficult to do. And I'm kind of in a different mindset completely right now. I feel like right now, even though I am a creator now and I really prioritize creating content, astrology content for you all and also just for myself, and these sit down videos so that we can have an honest conversation and get to know each other, because for me, I really value ideas. I really value conversations and deep topics and just understanding why things are the way that they are, right? And I realized with the creator economy, it was quite similar to just entrepreneurship, because creators are expected to really churn out so much content. If you think of TikTok, if you think of Instagram, if you think of being rewarded to have other people stay on the app, that's where creators get their income, right? So the more that they work, the more money they earn. And this can be really, really great if you're a hard worker and if you have so much energy to spend, but eventually we're all human and we're not machines and we get burnt out. And that is this difficult thing where creators need to now learn how to take breaks and take time to rest when all of their money is coming from social platforms where they're expected to perform, where they're expected to share their voice, share their perspective. And I say perform in a really, really loving way, because I love just doing this. I love filming. I love just speaking to everyone and connecting to so many people in the world. But I think for myself, it's like me learning what system works for me and what structure works for me. And you can see a lot of YouTubers get really drained when they don't have a good system in place and they don't know how to balance their energy. And even for myself, I don't even know. Like, I say that, and I don't want to use age as something to be concerned with at all, because I feel like everyone grows and everyone comes back to doing things in a different way, and everyone has different stages of life. And I am a millennial, so things are a bit different because I've been through that burnout stage, and I could see myself being burnt out by making content again, and then reminding myself I have to rest, I have to take breaks, this is needed. And I think it's understanding which social platforms really are beneficial to creators and which ones will limit you in terms of the energy you spend and the the reach you get. This is still something I'm learning as a creator, and I'm not even monetized yet on YouTube, but I will be. I'm trusting that I will be by the end of this year, hopefully. Cross your fingers for me. Thank you for everyone who's sharing my videos, how these two things intertwine, and just the astrology of this and the future of astrology when it comes down to this. But I do see us really valuing creators more so with Pluto moving into Aquarius next year. So this is going to be life-changing. I think this is going to be life-changing on a societal level. I'm very excited for this. And when I did my master's in digital media, we had to really look into patterns and understanding how to predict, how to do future predictions, and it's understanding what is happening now and where we can see things going. And for me, I always saw artists being valued more so, because even though there's AI, even though there's NFTs, even though there's so many things that can replicate art, right? And I think they're still art. I think these are still art pieces. I think it's a beautiful thing to have AI art. I think it's a beautiful thing to have art in a different way. And I do feel like I think these are amazing things to have, but I want to say that it's not going to replace art. I think it's going to make artists' work actually even more valuable, right? So I think it's going to benefit so many people. I think it's going to benefit the artists. I think it's going to benefit the people who value art, because they're going to value both, but maybe they're just going to be more collectors. I think they're going to be more art collectors, and this is going to be very helpful for artists. So I see with Pluto going into Aquarius next year, things are going to change dramatically, and we're going to really understand how can we, the people, the community, get valued for the craftsmanship that we're doing. How can we get valued for the work we're putting out there, right? And I think social media is such a beautiful double-edged sword. So I say this as it can be such a benefit to small creators, it can be such a benefit to people who are making their work, who just want to put their soul into an object and have that creativity out there. However, it can also be this comparison game. It can be this game of, am I doing enough? Am I good enough? It can leave you questioning a lot of things, and I've been there. I've been in that cycle, and it's been difficult to remove myself from it. And it's also understanding that things take some time. You know, Saturn does make things take time, and to trust the process of everything, but also to understand boundaries with this and what are our boundaries around social media and AI. And that will also be a huge theme, I would say, next year. Even though it's a theme now for sure, and our security and our privacy, I think it's going to be highlighted even more so next year. So I think this is like a very interesting topic to get into for the future of astrology, because I'm explaining these themes, this culture, through the lens of astrology, right? And I do feel like astrology is making such a big comeback. I don't think this is the height of astrology at all. I think more people are going to use astrology to connect to others. Astrology is a language, it is a meaning making tool, and it helps us understand things in a bigger sense. It helps us remove ourselves individually and see things in a collective sphere. And I do feel like astrology is going to grow even more so. It's going to be more common to have your own personal astrologer. If you'd like me to be your own personal astrologer, let me know. I have readings down below, or you can join the community. Happy to have you. But I do feel like more people are going to value astrology. You can see this with Bumble, and my mentor, Aliza Kelly, she recently joined Bumble to help people with their dating lives using astrology. So go check that out, because that's amazing. So you're gonna see more astrologers rise up, more mystics, more people who use their intuition. I do think our intuition is gonna be valued more so, and empathy. And it's just about understanding, how does this show up, right? And how do we protect ourselves in this online space? And how do we understand what really moves us forward, right? I think I'm so glad that we've reached a stage where no one is valuing hustle culture as much as we were a few years back. I'm really happy about that. Even though I love the energy of hustle culture, I love the idea of working really, really hard and then reaping the benefits of that, right? But sometimes you can just be working on a hamster wheel and not know if the work you're doing is actually impacting someone. And I think it can be very, very dangerous how far you can take hustle culture. So I'm so happy we are understanding the new way of prioritizing ourselves is to prioritize our health. I think we're in a self-love wave, which I think is amazing. We're in a healing phase right now. And I think this is more why self-love is more mainstream right now. We're understanding we need to learn more therapy. I have seen so many people gravitate towards therapy. I do believe this is because Saturn is an Aquarius, and Saturn's is our systems and structures. And with Aquarius, it's all about our mind. It's all about our mind and our community. So it's really helping us understand, okay, how do we take care of our community? How do we take care of our minds? So we're gravitating towards therapy because of that, and a few other reasons, but this is just a general video. And I'm so curious about your thoughts on this, because for me, I feel like hustle culture, because of this shift in dynamic, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to work, or I don't live to work, right? We want to get into a sense of play. They say that if you do what you love, it's not work. But in reality, that's not really true. I think you work harder when you love what you do. And it can feel easier. You can definitely make systems and structures that feel easier for you to do and makes you feel more aligned. You can definitely do work that is more aligned to you. But I don't believe that you can never not work a day if you do work that you love, because it's still going to be work at the end of the day. Yes, it could be pleasurable. Yes, it could be fun, but it's okay to, you know, do hard work sometimes. It's okay to do that, right? Like, I haven't seen any entrepreneurs who said this was so easy to get to. This was so easy to establish for myself. This was so easy to create for myself, right? I haven't seen any entrepreneurs say that or do that. And it could be easy to get opportunities. It could be easy to get connections that could up level you. It could be easy to get into a system and structure that works for you. But maybe the beginning stages of that are hard. Maybe the beginning stages will have you questioning, okay, what do I do now? How do I fix this? What am I not seeing? I also want to say that because the North Node is in Taurus right now, we're going to really be valuing our health, our finances, stability, and what makes us feel stable and grounded too. So a lot of people are moving back to 9 to 5 jobs because it gives them a sense of structure and stability that maybe they feel like freelancing or entrepreneurship has not given them. And I think this is completely fine, because when you get into your own business, when you have your own business, or when you get into learning about entrepreneurship, you feel like you're not doing great things if you're not working for yourself. You feel like it's just frustrating if you're not working for yourself. But I feel like there's still a lot of freedom for working for the right company that is aligned to you. You still have a lot of alignment if you work for someone else. It's just about understanding who you are specifically and what works for you, right? Everyone is different. And I think in the beginning stages of hustle culture, everyone's like, you have to work for yourself. You have to just do this in order to be happy. And I don't believe that's true at all, because I don't know, even though I have my own business and I enjoy working for myself so much, I know that this is part of my chart, right? And I think if I hadn't understood astrology, I would have been beating myself up about having to work for myself. And it's still something I am embracing about myself. It's still something I love about myself. But before, I used to beat myself up because I'm like, why can't I just get a 9 to 5 job? Why doesn't this work out for me? Why is this so frustrating? And I think when I got a birth chart reading, it helped me understand, okay, no, I was meant to work for myself. And yes, it's okay if it's hard. It's okay if it is difficult in the beginning, but that doesn't mean it doesn't get easier. Because each year I've been in business, I've been working for myself for over 10 years. But it gets easier each year because I understand what to do now and I understand the process. And even though I still get anxious and I still get in these waves, I am able to now pull myself out of that feeling and feel more empowered and feel more confident and feel more like this is what I'm meant to be doing, right? So if you're curious about your chart at all in this sense, feel free to book a reading with me. The link is down below, and I'm happy to help you understand your chart based on how you work and how you take aligned action. It's been an interesting journey just talking about these topics, because so much of my life I think this is the millennial generation and the millennial dilemma. And if you natally have Pluto and Scorpio, you're millennial, so you're just in this weird stuck state of wanting to transform and destroy and evolve dramatically, right? And it's understanding, okay, what do I work within? Scorpio is a fixed sign, so millennials as a generation, we are constantly figuring out like, okay, what is working for us? Do we stay here? Scorpio is such an interesting placement because it's water and fixed, so we're stubborn as a generation, because if we leave if we leave a new job, then we're like, okay, do I stay here? Do I work for myself? We're questioning a lot of different things, because Scorpio is the investigator, right? It's understanding, okay, how can I see things in such a deep way, and how do I transform the structures and systems in this place? So everyone with Pluto and Scorpio, we're trying to transform the systems and structures in place for the next generation, which is Gen Z. They have Pluto in Sagittarius, and they don't really care about that. They don't care about that at all. They're just like, whatever. We're gonna just do whatever we want. We're gonna burn the place down. We're gonna like start our own thing. We're gonna do things that we can't even imagine, right? So it's just really, really interesting, this dynamic, how us as society, as a generation, change and grow and evolve. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing. I am a Libra rising. And I didn't even bring up the fact that the panorama affected how we work, right? Because we were working remotely for almost 2 years for the people who constantly had to go into work and then they had to change things, right? So I feel like we're going to value flexibility even more so. And I think we are seeing that, and people are seeing how much power the person has, right? And that's Saturn in Aquarius, like the power an individual has, especially the community. If we buy, like, if everyone revolts, then something has to change, right? So that's something to consider in terms of how we work and how things have changed, because I think all work will be mainly digital right now, even though I do think people are valuing in-person experiences that are community-based more so because of Saturn in Aquarius. And you know, we feel like we've missed out with the panorama and not being able to see each other in person for so long. And I'd love to know your thoughts on hustle culture, the change of hustle culture, the fall of hustle culture, what shifts are being created right now, like what's happening with the future of astrology, what's happening with the future of how we work, and the creator economy. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. And if you are interested in joining a very welcoming, supportive astrology and art-based community, you can join the Moon Sign Creative Community. The link for that will be down below. We'll be happy to have you. If you just want a safe online space to share what you're going through, we do new moon and full moon events. And if you're interested in getting a one-on-one birth chart reading with me, the link for that is down below. Thank you again for watching, and let me know which video you'd like to see next. And I just want to say the universe has your back. And with peace and love, take care. Bye.